Yes, my client, Mr. Mario Portales Castro, was attempting to go to work one day. Some ICE officers came upon him with their guns drawn while he was in his car at his home in Louisville, and they asked him to get out of the car. And he got out of the car with his hands up. He was not armed. He was not being difficult. It's hard to be difficult when guns are drawn on you, right? And then they started punching him in the head and knocked him to the ground. And they handcuffed him, and then a couple more ICE officers showed up. They all started kicking him in the head and his body while he was in handcuffs on the ground right in front of his family and other witnesses. It's just a horrible and frightening situation, of course. When these officers start going past that force, like cops, immigration officers, anyone with law enforcement power, they're basically carrying out what amounts to pretrial punishment. Well, so the defendant has not had a chance to express himself in court or herself in court, yet the police officers are punishing them, right, with this brutality. When I say police officers, I mean ICE too. We're just generally talking about law enforcement officers. The idea behind it that we should not be subjected to unreasonable and excessive or even violent police force. It's for all people present in American jurisdiction, no matter what their status is as a citizen, immaterial. Police officers can't just beat people up. I mean, we see it happen all the time. It happens to the black man. Heck, it's happened to me before. When I was younger. And it's one of the things that's made me sort of passionate about this, as well as equality. So, regardless of all other facts here, my job is to get my client compensated for his injuries, his hospital bills, and the fact that his constitutional rights were violated when these officers decided they were going to gang beat him. I'm not exactly sure why they decided that was a good thing to do. I don't know if this is to try and intimidate other people, intimidate the defendant. Maybe they're just assholes. Maybe they have anger control problems. Maybe they're not being trained. Maybe they feel falsely empowered by President Trump, because we all know what kind of stuff he's trying to carry out with the wall and immigration and all that stuff. So, he was knocked unconscious, and they had to take him to the hospital. So they took him to the hospital, and they determined that he had a skull fracture. It has a complicated medical name, but it's right here under the eye, right here. They cracked it, and so he has had some issues. And then the hospital recommended that he get further treatment to figure out whether or not he needed surgery. But the ICE officers that had him in custody while he was in the hospital told him no, and took him to a detention center in Boone County, Kentucky.